Quick episode recap. Setsu's encounter with Ruri has him promising that he will accompany her to the demonic continent, where she wishes to deliver a brooch. But their stay in the city is interrupted by the guards, who accuse Setsu of committing a crime. They get chased by them until they are finally cornered, but Setsu has already prepared for it, calling an old friend of his, Levia, to give them a lift to the demonic continent. Levia aggressively fights a giant squid while Setsu excitedly cheers her on, but Levia would really appreciate his help at this time. Setsu later reintroduces his friend, Levia in her human form, to Ruri. She seemed a bit pitiful in her true form, but she arrogantly has Ruri thank her for blessing her with her presence. Levia then yells at Setsu for not helping her fight the squid, but he defends he knew she could handle it. In reality, he just wanted to see giant monsters battle each other. He's disappeared for 5 years, and the long-awaited meeting ends up with her used as transportation, followed by an intense battle, so her irritation is understandable. Ruri interrupts to ask what they'll do to the giant squid, and Levia pushes that job to Setsu. His solution is fried squid. Ruri hesitates to eat it, but she quickly comes to enjoy the taste. Levia states it's not bad, but she'd prefer it raw. From their current location, a fishing village is nearby, and further beyond the mountains is the Demon Lord's castle. At Ruri's confusion, Setsu tells her he also has business with the package's recipient, and that their destination is the Demon Lord's castle. Levia finds it strange a human is delivering a package to Desu, and Ruri gets surprised she actually knows the recipient. Realizing her ignorance, she reveals that the package recipient is the Demon Lord, Desu, which causes Ruri to panic. They must travel the rest of the way on foot, but Levia plans to return to the sea, which prompts Setsu to request she continues with them. Levia expresses her frustration, stating she's kept her promise to maintain the peace at sea, but Setsu returns after so long, only to treat her like a boat, and even came with another girl. Suddenly, young demon children show up, advising him to take responsibility and apologize as a man, which prompts him to shove food to shut them up, but it only makes them more rowdy. Levia tells them there's plenty more to go around, and Setsu is forced to haul the squid over to their village. The village is in desperate straits, as a giant squid is preventing them from fishing, and the war with humans have halted trade, so they worry they will soon run out of food. But at that moment, Setsu timely arrives with the squid, and the village holds a celebration at night. Levia is worshipped as the ocean god, and is presented the best drink the village has to offer. They offer her some sushi as well, and she comments she prefers it raw, but sushi is as raw as it gets. In the stands, Ruri sells squid rings from earlier to the villagers, while Setsu is responsible for making it. Levia teases that he's making them too slowly, and the annoyed Setsu showcases his cooking ability to the public, which greatly impresses them. A distance away, a demon named Vlad sees the fire in the village, and concludes humans must have invaded their shores. Vlad is the head guard of the Demon Lord, and he draws his blade as he rushes over to fight the enemies. The festivities have ended, and Ruri seems to have gotten drunk on juice. She wishes to know how Levia met Setsu, so she tells Ruri the epic battle between them when he tried to cross the ocean without her permission. Setsu then recruited her to help him end the war. This gains the admiration of Ruri, and she concludes this is how they met the Demon Lord. But in reality, the noisy war caused her to rampage, and Setsu silenced her with one punch. Levia wonders how Ruri is so clueless, given that Setsu should be famous in Destinia as the hero who ended the war. Finally reaching the conclusion, Ruri now understands why Setsu is so strong and has such connections. Levia once again brings up her frustration with Setsu treating her like a boat, and Ruri questions if she's still mad, but Levia seems happy to see him again. Ruri thinks she loves him, but Levia denies it, saying it's impossible to fall for a human. But she admits she was waiting for him to return. A sudden explosion happens, and Vlad makes his appearance. He declares he'll protect them, but everyone just stares at him weirdly. The children offer him squid rings in pity. Setsu finally sold out the squid, and he heads over to where Levia and Ruri are. Levia catches some fish using magic, preferring to eat them raw. Vlad appears to apologize for earlier, and Setsu comes over to greet him. He immediately recognizes Setsu from his magic and sword. Setsu questions why the demon lord's closest deity is here, and Vlad responds that he was looking for Levia, but he didn't expect to meet Setsu as well. He implores them to save the demon lord. He discloses that someone named Terrence Sneeder asked for Desu's hand in marriage. At Levi's confusion, he clarifies that she's enslaved through a curse. Desu should be resistant to most curses, but a powerful cursed necklace was placed on her. Vlad brings up the war, explaining that the humans suddenly invaded a month prior, using soldiers in massive armor and leaving behind the flag of Destinia. Setsu is baffled at this revelation. Desu was reluctant to start a war, and Terran appeared with an offer to stop it. As everyone questions his capabilities, Ruri reveals Terran is the world's wealthiest merchant, with his company owning most of the ships they see at sea. Both sides need merchants to supply the war, so his claim that he can stop the fighting isn't completely baseless. Desu is willing to be his slave to prevent war, but Setsu demands to know why her aides are okay with this. The generals would rather fight to the end, and Levia states it's because of Desu's promise to Setsu to maintain peace. She thinks it's stupid to cling to a promise made with someone who disappeared, but Levia is ready to help her. Vlad warns them that the road to the castle is full of monsters, but Levia will take care of the fighting. Setsu plans to take a shortcut there, and brags he will be done before Vlad arrives. As they run, Setsu feels nostalgic using the road they exploited to attack the demon lord's castle. They now have company, and Levia initiates the attack on the wolves, easily cutting them apart as they approach her. She inquires his plan once they get to the castle, and Setsu states he'll just blow everything away along with Terran. She wonders if they can stop the war without him, but Setsu suspects Terran is the one behind it. The demons think the humans initiated the attack, while the humans insist the demons attacked first. This war is not a coincidence, and is likely a setup, given that the armored soldiers attacked both sides. Terran isn't necessarily the mastermind, but he is bound to know something. With that in mind, they continue to fight through the monsters, and quickly go on their way. Levia reflects on her past, having not cared about the surface, but by following Setsu, she's learned how beautiful the world is, and wants to protect it. Levia refuses to lose to Desu. They can now see the castle in the distance, and Setsu prepares to wreak havoc on their enemies.